JBN, we keep you informed. 5 suspects nabbed after double murder in Clarendon. The police on Friday arrested 5 men in connection with a double murder in Clarendon. Lawmen reportedly intercepted the suspects at the Mineralites Toll Plaza in the parish shortly after the shooting death of the 2 men on the Frankfield Main Road about 4:40 p.m. the same day. 2 firearms and several rounds of ammunition were also seized in the incident, the Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit CCU reported. The dead men have been identified as Jermaine Jones, 33, and Alan Cameron, otherwise called Puss, both of John's Hall, Silver Spring, Clarendon. They were reportedly driving along the roadway when they were pounced upon by armed men traveling in a motor car. The police were called, and preliminary information received was that a white motor car and a grey motor car sped from the scene. After an hour after the incident, 5 men in 2 vehicles, matching the description of the vehicles seen leaving the scene, were intercepted by 2 police teams, CCU said. The men, all of St. Catherine addresses, were taken into custody and the vehicles seized. During a subsequent search of the vehicles, a 9mm pistol with an empty magazine and 1.40 pistol with a magazine containing 6.40 live rounds were reportedly found. Their names are being withheld pending further investigations. Maxfield Avenue woman killed in reported shootout with police. A 34-year-old woman was shot dead during a reported shootout with police in the Maxfield Avenue of St. Andrew on Monday. The deceased has been identified as Latoya Monte for Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 10 address. The circumstances that led to the fatal shooting were still not clear up to this afternoon, but reports so far are that the police went to the East Bloomsbury Road section of the area about 6:50 p.m. According to a sparsely worded police account of the incident, Monte was fatally shot during a confrontation with the lawmen. 1 chrome and black Luger CZ75B with 8 9mm rounds was seized during the incident, the police said. The matter has been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom and the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau IPROBE. Fatal crash in Westmoreland. 27-year-old Clement Beckford, a kitchen worker of Dowling Street, Savlemarin, Westmoreland, died as a result of injuries he sustained from a motor vehicle collision along the Numperel Main Road. The police report that about 3:20 p.m. on Friday, Beckford was running from the left side of the road heading to the right side when he was hit by a white Nissan AD wagon motor car that was traveling westerly. He received head injuries and a wound from his right ear to the center of his neck. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver was warned for prosecution. Carpenter charged with assault, gun possession after alleged threats to kill man. A carpenter has been charged with assault at common law and illegal possession of firearm in relation to an incident that took place at his home last Thursday. He is 49-year-old Jarrett Anderson of a Kingston address. Reports are that about 4 p.m. Anderson and another man had an argument. He allegedly went into his dwelling house and returned with a firearm, which he reportedly pointed at the man and threatened to kill him. A report was made to the police and Anderson was charged on Sunday. His court dates are being finalized. 10-year-old found dead on swing. The death of 10-year-old Cassian Clark, student of the Salt Spring Primary School in St. James, remains a mystery to relatives and other community members. Cassian, who is said to have had developmental challenges, died by hanging after she reportedly slipped while on a swing at her home and got tangled in the rope. Reports are that Cassian got up from bed on Friday morning and immediately went swinging in a swing, which was tied to a tree which is located behind her aunt's house in Hall Lane, Salt Spring. She was reportedly standing on the seat of the swing when she lost her balance. Nayoka Clark, the aunt who made the discovery, said that she is still in shock over her niece's death. Me still can't believe that she really did. She come on me doorway about 6:15 in the morning, and after me talk to her, me see when she walked straight for the swing, the woman said. Me sit down in my room and me a watch her swing. But me notice since she sit down, she stand up on the board. And me said to myself, say, suppose she fall out and hurt herself. Me take me time and I walk outside with the intention to slap her and take a picture for show her father how she in the swing. But me realize that she set one funny way and that she not move. The child was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Camille Clark, the child's father, said she was a special child. Although her 4 kids may get, KCN was just different. She was kind, loving, and everything you could want in a little girl, he said. The police said that a post-mortem examination would be used to determine how the child died. Woman awarded $9 million for hospital negligence. The Supreme Court has awarded damages of more than $9 million to a woman for negligence in the removal of her womb at the Spanish Town Hospital almost 9 years ago. The verdict was handed down by Justice Carol Lawrence Beswick on May 27, 2020, in favor of Octavia Chambers against the Southeast Regional Health Authority, which had sought $17 million. It was revealed that on October 7, 2011, Chambers was admitted to the Spanish Town Hospital to treat a septic miscarriage. Attorney at law Sean Kinghorn contended that his client was not made aware of alternative treatment or properly counseled about the procedure. The defendants buttressed by evidence by Dr. Sharika Pearson, then junior resident in obstetrics and gynecology, Dr. Kingsley Ford, then senior registrar, and Dr. Leslie Samuels, fellow of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, argued that the procedure, evacuation of retained products of conception, was executed because Chambers' life was in jeopardy because she was bleeding heavily. It was estimated that she had lost up to 75% of blood volume. But the complainant argued that although she signed 3 consent forms, Pearson did not sufficiently appraise her of the 3 options available: vaginal insertion of a tablet, dilation and curettage, DNC, and the vacuum and the suction curettage procedure, and that the latter was the least risky. Pearson acknowledged not informing Chambers of the vacuum curettage procedure because that service was not accessible at the Spanish Town or any other public hospitals. It was only available at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Justice Lawrence Beswick said in her ruling that patients were no longer living in an era in which the options of medical personnel went without question. Patients are now taken to have rights, including the right to be an active participant in the choice of treatment to be administered. Having been made fully aware of the known risk, Justice Lawrence Beswick said, there is a duty on the medical profession to properly inform patients of available options to allow for the patient to make an informed decision as to her own treatment. An uninformed signing of a consent form whilst awaiting treatment in hospital is not enough. Kinghorn anchored the claim for a $17 million payout on the case of Tanya Clark versus Dr. Soywin, Dr. Bennett, and the Attorney General of Jamaica. But the judge ruled that Clark's case was deemed manifestly more compelling because Clark suffered greater psychological and physical damage, among other factors. Chambers, 32, was married at the time and had 3 children. Clark was 19 at the time of her incident and would have lost more childbearing years. General damages of $9 million and the special damages of $16 million were awarded to Chambers. Interest will be calculated at 3% per annum since the claim was lodged. NEPA to suspend cemetery expansion permit. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, yesterday served a notice of its intention to suspend a permit for the establishment of a cemetery at Bendon Pen, St. Catherine, granted to the company that manages Dovecot Memorial Park. The environmental regulator, in a letter addressed to Commander Park Limited, said the suspension will remain in force until there is a cessation of all breaches being conducted under the terms of the permit. The proposed project is an expansion of Dovecot Memorial Park and Crematorium on St. John's Road in St. Catherine. It was not clear from the letter shown what were the breaches outlined by NEPA. However, residents of neighboring communities to Dovecot at a meeting last week raised concerns about contamination of their water supply, dust from the expansion work that had already started, as well as the poor behavior and improper attire of people attending funerals. Last week's meeting was a fresh attempt to convince homeowners in the communities that there was a need for expansion of the burial grounds. The residents, though, rejected the plan. An environmental impact assessment submitted to NEPA by CL Environmental Limited in 2014 stated that it had become critical to expand Dovecote Memorial Gardens as the current area used for burials has run out of space. Customers are complaining that due to the limited space available, they are not able to choose a location that they deem ideal for their loved ones, and funerals are too close together in proximity, the EIA said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.